Hello and welcome to another video by myself, Chris from Sorare on a Budget. In today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at some Asia-based players. Easy for me to say. That's not going to be the first and only time I slip up today when it comes to pronunciations, but it's a kind of first look at some Asian-based threshold players, which you'll see through over the summer in terms of still being able to, compete for the ETH and for your thresholds. So I'm going to give a quick overview of the thresholds. If you're brand new to Sorare, what the thresholds are is basically the All-Star Rare League. If you score over 205 points, you'll get 0.01 ETH, which at the minute is about £22-23. If you score over 250 points, however, that gets increased to 0.02, which is double. You're talking 44 to 46 quid, depending on the valuation of ETH at that time. The Asia Rare market, because the new 2022 cards will be coming out in the next couple of weeks, it'll be the same for the MLS and some of the the other Americas leagues. Bear in mind that the current season cards, which are 2021 cards at the moment, will lose their 5% bonus that they currently have, and they will drop down as the new 2022 cards come out. So that's worth bearing in mind, because when you're looking at a brand new card that says a 2021 card that's sitting with a 5% bonus on it versus a 2020 card with a 5% bonus on it, I would take the 2020 card every day of the week over it. The reason being, the 2020 card, the 2021 card will lose that 5% bonus. So really, if it's a if it's a 5 or a 6% card, you're really looking at a 0 or 1% card in a couple of weeks' time. So it's very worth bearing that in mind when you're looking at some of these cards, because some people are still undervaluing their 2020 cards. And I know that I've picked up a couple of 2020s. You can have a look at my account, you'll see that there. Some of the prices are lower for the 2020 cards, which is bonkers, because now, as I say, in a couple of weeks' time, some of those that are sitting with 5 or 6% are really 0 or 1%. Bear that in mind when you're looking at your cards. So yeah, I'm going to produce a selection of players just like my normal threshold videos, except, as I say, these are going to basically be South Korean and Japanese league players, the J and the K League. And these prices are correct as of 6 p.m. tonight, which is the 22nd of March. If you're new to the channel, please press the subscribe button below. We're sitting at over 1,200 subscribers, which to me is just madness, but it's great and it keeps building the channel. If you're new to Sorare altogether, if you follow my link, which will also be in the description below, which is sorareonabudget.com, that'll take you straight to the Sorare website where you can sign up. And once you sign up, you'll get your 10 free common cards, which you can use in the casual league. And then when you buy 5 cards from the new card auctions, you'll receive a free card, which you can then sell or use in your SO5 leagues. So without further ado, I am going to crack on with the defenders. It's the same old, same old. It's the trusty notepad. And I'll go through some of these players for us. So I've done the same as I did with the March threshold video, where I've taken the screenshots from Sorare data and included that into here, because I was, the feedback was it was quite visual. People seem to like that. And in addition to that, I'm going to try and break down some of the the terminology that might get used, because again, that was a feedback from a couple of new members to Sorare, that some of the terminology, even the little things that which to more established players is second nature, like the last 5 or the last 15. What does that actually mean? So I'll try and break that down as I go through, and if there is any further questions, drop them in the comments below, send them on Twitter at Sorare on the Budget, and I'll happily, do my best to get to you and help you. So our first one here, I'm going to brace myself. I'm going to butcher names, and I entirely apologize to the players, indeed the people from these countries, because it's probably ignorance, that we kind of, it's hard to pronounce for some, but I'm going to give it a go, and we will see how that works. So first we have Kim Young Bin. I even got Kim wrong. I said King. Clown show. This is going to be fun, boys and girls. If there is, I think there's 1% female population that watch these videos, but anyhow, he plays for Gwangwon in the K League. He has played 6 out of 6, or started 6 out of 6 games this season, 100% of minutes as well. Centre back, and he has one cap for South Korea that came in June of last year. Last 5, which basically means an average of his scores for the last 5 games, is down at 44. However, last 15 is 51. So over the longer time, you could see he has had better fortune. So it's been maybe a lower scoring start to the season. However, you can see that there is a better player in amongst those scores. As such, price in the market at the moment was 0.06. The 3-day average or the most recent average, which is here, the 0.08 score here. Some of those are higher than what the market prices are at the moment, and that's because we're in an international break and people start to sell off because, oh, this player doesn't play in internationals, but then you're going to need to buy him back in 2 weeks' time when it comes around to the that international break being done. So it does happen. It happens every single time with the international break. It's a buyer's market when it comes to an international break. So 0.06, you're picking him up at the moment. You also have to factor in the fact that ETH has gone up about 15% in the last week. It was sitting in the £1,900 range. It's now sitting at the high £2,200. So you are talking a significant increase in ETH value. So that sometimes has, well, it doesn't sometimes, it does eventually have a knock-on effect to the prices and it balancing out to the fiat, whether people want to believe that or they don't. So that's our first one. Next one, we have Shuto Yamamoto, playing for Sean and Belmere. Now, they are actually sitting currently bottom of the J League after, as I say, it's only 5 games. However, he has played all 5 games, started them all, and played 100% minutes. He's got 1 yellow card to his name. Last 5 score of 41. And a last 15 score of 49. So you could see again, there are higher scores in there. He is 36. His price is very, very low. So you might need to do a little bit more digging and see, is that a player that's maybe going to fade out the squad? Is somebody injured? 0.018, you're talking like 40 quid, for this card. As I say, he has started all 5 and played every minute of the first 5 games. So, but they are a side that are struggling at the bottom of the league, so that may reflect in the price and scores at the moment. Third player we have here, we have Jung Woon Jae. Plays for Jeju United. I could just about say that. Last 5 of 49 and last 15 of 48. Now, when I'm telling you this, was another bit of things where people were saying, where do you see, that they've played 5 out of 5 or how many percentage of minutes they've played? I get that information from transfermarket.co.uk. There's various versions of that throughout the world, but that's where I get it from. If you search for those players on there, you will actually see a breakdown of percentage of minutes played, percentage of starts, their yellow cards, their goals, everything like that on there. You can also look it up on SofaScore or the various other scoring sites. SofaScore, I like, you've got the heat map, you've got, it tells you everything from, percentage of passes completed and things like that. So I'm not going to drill down that far on the video, but you can go and do that when you do your extra research, because at the end of the day, as I've always said, do extra research. Is your money you're investing, not mine. So we are, Jeju United. He started 5 out of 6 games, so he's played in all of them, and 86% of minutes, 1 assist. Primarily played as a left midfielder so far this season, so that would reflect in maybe some slightly higher scores, because he would still be gaining from any clean sheet bonuses, for example. But on the flip side, he would be penalised higher for lost possession, things like that, with the scoring matrix. So next one, Min Sang Ji, last 5 and 15 of 45, pretty consistent. Last 40 is, up to 50. So again, maybe playing underneath himself in the last little while. Suwon Blue Wings, he plays for it. He is their captain. Started 6 out of 6 and 92% of the minutes. Plays as a centre back, and 0.0528 on the the average and 0.053 on the market. So you're kind of in line there for him. Then we have Kwon Wan Zhu. Now, when you search for him on Transfer Market, or if you search for him on SofaScore, he comes up as Kwon Wan hyphen Q. So if you can put that together yourself, you'll figure out what that says. But last, he plays for He's also got a last 5 and 15 of 45 and a last 40 of 46. As you can see there, he's played in every single game for the last 40 there as well. So you're getting a pretty consistent player. Centre back, 2 yellow cards against his name so far this season, but he has played 100% of the minutes in those 6 games. Next one's one that I've actually had myself in the past, and I was looking at trying to pick back up, and I may well do so. Ryoya Ogawa from FC Tokyo, left back, broke into the international side last summer, but I think that was primarily due to them not using so many European-based players. But he did play 5 games, so he got himself 5 caps from last June onwards. Last 5, 45, last 15 of 44. You will see there that he'd only played 47% of the last 15. Now, he actually got injured towards the tail end of last season and missed, I think it was about 6 or 7 games. So, and also the start of this season, a lot of the, Tokyo had a game postponed because of COVID. So they had a big COVID outbreak. They lost the first game of the season. They then had one postponed. And since then, though, they've won the next 3. So they are a team on the up. They do have a tough set of fixtures coming up as well, though. So that might be worth bearing in mind when you're looking at some of these players from Tokyo, for example. So 0.058 on the market. Yep, played all the games so far this season, 4 out of 4, 100% of the minutes, 1 yellow card. Is a left back, so there is that, whole thing with the fullbacks, potentially losing a bit more possession, and therefore losing more points. But he is one that I did have previously and did get some decent scores for me. So we will move on to the last 2. We have Alichi Katayama from Shimizu S-Pulse. Last 5 of 42, last 15 of 41. So this is a little bit lower, but it was because it was lower prices on these 2 that I've put them in. 0.034 was the price on the market at that point. Left back, 5 out of 5 games started and 100% minutes, 1 yellow card. And then we have Ryu Takao, right back from Gamba. He's played some games at centre back as well, but I think that was due to injury, and I think they've got their centre backs back just now. 5 out of 5 starts, 76% of minutes, last 5 of 41. But as you can see, the price there, 0.029. So you're talking, these cards, they're scoring lower just now, but they are capable, you know how some of these work, with defenders. They could get clean sheet bonuses a couple of games in a row. It increases their averages, and then you could look to sell players on. So I'm going to look at midfielders. I have a lot of midfielders to get through, so I'm going to crack through these a little bit quicker. Hiroki Miyazawa, 32 from Constable Sapporo, team I've adopted as mine. He is their captain, has primarily played as a centre-back as opposed to a centre midfielder. And he started 4 out of 5 games. The vast number of the starting lineup for Constable missed the weekend there. 9 of them had COVID, and it was all first-team players. So there's quite a few of the Constable players, were affected by that. Last 5 of 45 and last 15 of 47. His price on the market was 0.033. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups all of a sudden. That's not great in the middle of the video. 0.033. But yeah, Constable, 5 games so far this season and 5 draws. So I'm looking for them to kick on, just because they're the team that I chose to support. And then we have Kim Bong-soo. Last 5 of 45, last 15 of 47 as well. 0.058 is his price, but as you can see, he is an under 23. Jeju United as well, plays as a centre-back. He's had 3 starts and 2 subs. However, his 2 substitute appearances came after 19 minutes and after 22 minutes. And in both those games, it didn't look like the player was wasn't marked as injured, and it was the same player in both. So there's a likelihood that might mean he's just going to, slide into the starting lineup, a bit more often. We then have Yu En-soo from Jimcheon Sangmu, maybe. Last 5 and last 15 of 46. Price in the market 0.05. He has started 5 out of 6, 85% of minutes, left back, but he was the sub in the last game there. So that might need a little bit of digging. Was he starting because, somebody was out injured? I'm going to leave that. I am explicitly saying that in these videos where that's up to, people to go and do a little bit of research and see what you can find out, see what you think, is going on there. Shoma Doi from Kashima Antlers. Now, Kashima Antlers have had a pretty good start to the season. I think they're sitting in third at the moment. Last 5 of 52, last 15 of 44. So he has, this season has really kicked on. 0.068 was his price on the market. Now, he's played as the right midfielder and as an attacking midfielder. He is their captain, 5 out of 5 starts and 76% of minutes. That's a pretty decent price for, a captain and a regular starter, in my opinion. Obviously, it depends on your budget and what you've got available to you. Next one up, Adelton, another card that I actually hold at present. Last 5 of 54, last 15 of 44. He missed the first game of the season, and that was part of that COVID outbreak at Tokyo that I mentioned earlier. So he started 3 games out of 3 so far when he's been available. 1 goal and 1 assist. Plays as the left winger or, attacking midfielder on the left, whichever way you want to look at it. 0.055, pretty decent price. I paid a little bit more than that. The weekend there, he had a score in the 30s after 2 high, we had 1 game with a goal, 1 game with an assist. So he had 2 decisive games. But I'm pretty sure he's going to get back to those levels again. Ryu Takeuchi from Shimizu S-Pulse. Started 5 out of 5, 93% of minutes, plays as a centre mid, last 5 of 45, last 15 of 41, and a price of 0.037. Pretty decent price, again, for a starter who's scoring 45. At the end of the day, if you're getting between 45 and 50 from your players, that's going to hit your thresholds, it's going to get you certainly close to them. Speaking of 50s, we have Leo Silva. Moved to Nagoya Grampus from, I believe it was from Kashima. Last 5 of 50, last 15 of 41. A lot of those were substitute appearances as well. But since he's moved to Nagoya, he has started every league game, 4 out of 4. Played 93% of minutes as well. Defensive midfielder, 0.039 was his price on the market. Average was 0.027. His age plays into that, and you've got to decide for yourself whether he's going to continue as a starter. He started the season there and he's having a pretty good run of it so far. So it's whether, do you think he's going to stay there or not? The price is reflected in that. And conversely, we have Kang Hyun Muk, and he is only 20 from Suwon Blue Wings. Last 5 of 48, last 15 of 41. Price on the market, 0.064. And he has, where is he? I'm illustrating my thumb. Started 4 out of 5 of the games. 1 game he came on as a substitute. Played as an attacking midfielder, and he's got 1 assist to his name so far. So you could see, conversely, he's actually got a last 5, which is slightly lower. But that being 20 is playing in his favour. Next one, also 20-year-old, and that is what have I done there? I've put the same picture in twice. What an idiot. And there's me having proofread this one. Who is meant to be there was Siu Min Hu. Last 5 of 49 and a last 15 of 39. Price was 0.061. And he plays for Gangwon. Starts 6 out of 6. 100% of minutes and plays as a centre back. I'm quite frustrated that I've put the wrong one in there, and I've only just noticed it now. So I will correct that. I'll put that in the description below so you can get a link to him to have a look at him. Kazu Yamamura, and he plays for Kawasaki Frontale. 32. However, he has started 6 out of 7 games for them this season, played 86% of minutes, and again, he's actually playing as a centre back. And he's got 1 assist to his name, a last 5 of 54, and they're the league leaders and they're the reigning champions. So that's going to have Champions League football for them as well. So whether he would start all those games or not, you can go and have a little dig in there, but 54 average for the last 5. Really good for that sort of price, I think. Playing as a centre-back, he's not going to lose as many points as his defender card would, but conversely, he's not getting clean sheet bonuses either. So, again, you weigh that up. Then we've got Kosuke Onose. or Onos, however that is actually pronounced, plays for Gamba, started 5 out of 5, 92% of minutes, 2 goals. He's played as a right midfielder, but he's also played as a second striker and a centre forward. 0.047 was his price on the market, and full disclosure, it's a card that I have actually looking at trying to pick up. Now I'm going to come to the forwards. Now the forward criteria that I've used is a little bit lower. Excuse me, my feet are going dead because of the way I'm sitting. But yeah, so the criteria is a little bit different that I've used for the forwards, and as we know, and from previous videos, forward prices can be a little bit higher. Because if they go on a goal scoring run, you find their prices, do start to skyrocket, and then if they have a bad run of form, you'll see that start to come back down again. So I have 6 of them. 5 of them did fit within the criteria, and a 6th one is a little bit more expensive, but I do see value in him. So I'll come to that. So first one, Lee Jae-won from Seongnam, played mainly as an attacking midfielder or a left winger. Last 5 games, he started all 5. 72% of the minutes have been played. Last 5 score of 43. As you can see before that, I think he was a new signing, if I remember rightly, but I haven't actually written that down. His average price was 0.054, but the price on the market at the time that I looked was 0.084. So you may well be able to negotiate that price. But it's worth having a little look at and see what you could do on there. When I did previously look, when I actually wrote my notes down before I took the screenshots, his average price was 0.056 on the market. Sorry. So you may want to have a little look and see if that's something that's, maybe it was a blip that it's gone back up so high. But also rewards day, you might find some cheap ones there as well. Next one, Yusuke Segawa from Shonan Belmare as well. Scored at the weekend. So as a player that is, he started 4 out of 5 games. 1 game where he was a substitute. He's got the goal from the weekend, as I mentioned, does play as a centre forward, 73% of minutes. They are going to be a struggling side. I do think they probably, come November, will be one of the 2 teams that will be looking at automatic relegation. That's just my opinion. But that's 33 games away or something like that. So you're looking at least 30 games where the cards are going to be used. And as I've always said, you use these cards to get you to the thresholds, and then you can use your thresholds to start, to increase the quality of your squad. So 0.055 was his price on the market at that time, which again, I don't think is a bad price for a centre forward who started 4 out of 5. Speaking of starting 4 out of 5, we've got Shinzo Kuroki from Consadole. Just moved to Consadole from Kashima. I believe it was Kashima. But he has started 4 out of 5. Again, he was one of the 9 that missed the game at the weekend. He's got 1 goal to his name so far this season. Again, centre forward. He's played 65% of the minutes. Consadole do make the use of their full 5 subs, and they do rotate that as well. So, but he has started all 4 games where he's not had COVID and he's been fit and available. And I expect him to go straight back in. I do have his card at my club as well. I picked him up before the first game of the season when I seen the team lineups, and he was the striker, so I put him straight in. 0.068 is a pretty good price for him, I think. You can look at his age, 35, but you've got Michael Deleu, for example, at Groningen, who's played the whole season and has started to get a couple of goals towards the end of the season. And it's ages, it's only relative. Once it comes towards the end of the season and we're looking at maybe, are they going to retire and are they going to continue, whatever. I think it's a pretty good price, to be perfectly honest. Next we have Lee Gwang-hyuk from Pohang Steelers. Last 5 of 38, last 15 of 38 as well. I think that's actually the same score, to be perfectly honest, because you can see he's only played 33%. 0.09 was his price on the market. He started 3 out of 5 and he's come on as a substitute twice. Right wing, 46% of minutes, so not a great option, to be perfectly honest. but you know, it's a struggle to get ones that are, you know, so long as they've played all the games, that's what I kind of aimed for. But you know, again, you might want to have a little dig around and see. There are probably better options. I've included him because he fit 100% and he'd scored over 35 as an average. Next one was Kim Seung Jun from Suwon FC. Last 5 of 50, last 15 of 43. Now, he has started 2 out of 2 and played 2 as a substitute, and he missed the first 2 games. So you're looking at a player that, you know, he started when he's, or played whilst he's been available, and he's got 2 goals, playing as a right winger, 0.048 reflected in the price. So you are taking a wee bit of a gamble with a player coming off the bench, because he might just get the, you know, the 25 to 30 points. But again, that could be the difference between hitting the threshold and not. The last one I've got in here is a little bit more, 0.091. There's Junior Santos from Sanfrecce Hiroshima. Now, he's a striker. He started 3 out of 5 and he's had 2 as substitute. He did come back from, I believe he had an injury over the pre-season. So last 5 of 36 and the last 15 of 30. I mean, they're low scores. However, I do expect him to become, you know, the out and out starting striker, and you know, start getting some goals, because Hiroshima have had a, you know, a poorer start to the season. But I would expect that to be one that, you know, in the longer run, a couple of goals to his name, bit of confidence, could definitely be one that kicks on, and that's why I included him in there. I do think that that's, you know, the price for him just now is pretty decent. But it's a lot of money. It's 200 quid on a player that, you know, is only scoring 36 points. So you might want to have a look, as I say, at a karaoke. But you've then got the question, you know, do they look at, you know, replacing with younger or whatever they may do? So that is our video. So thank you very much for watching. Thanks to everybody who has subscribed. If you've not already subscribed, just press the button. You can switch off notifications if you want, but it just helps increase the visibility of the channel. If you've ideas for upcoming videos, get in touch. I am going to be recording a new Conversations With tonight, and that'll be going up on Wednesday. If you, again, as I mentioned at the start, if you're new to Sorare, you can visit sorareonthebudget.com, and that'll take you to the Sorare website where you can sign up and get your free cards, and then also get your free limited card when you buy 5 from the new card auctions. And you can follow me at Sorare on the Budget. You can DM me, my DMs are open, and I'll be happy to help any queries or, you know, give advice if I can. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Apologies for the lack of the content in the recent weeks, but I'm getting right back on it, and it'll continue. So thanks again. I will speak to you all again soon. Take care, and enjoy your game weeks if you've got any players in the international breaks. Take care, guys.